All right, welcome back to another fantastic episode of the podcast. Today we are with a very, very special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, GF Caron, I'm here.
So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became a strongman?
Oh shit, it was a long time ago. Like I started Strongman 20 years ago, 2003, I think, 2004. I just started because I have a few friends training at my working place, and they asked me to try some Strongman equipment. And I tried my first contest because I never trained before that time. And I just started my first competition three weeks after. I tried strongman events, and my journey started there, and I never stopped to train after that moment.
That's awesome. Um, what goes into training for a strongman competition? Because it seems like it would be very interactive as far as a lot of time spent in the gym.
Uh, yes, of course. I think to become a strongman of world class level, it's you need to train full time almost. With the level we have today, the level is very high, and the guy train full time. They are 100% dedicated to the sport. It's just about the train hard, rest and eat. It's almost just that, and recover from some injuries. It's very hard, and not so much people can handle volume of training like that. Trust me, a lot try, but not so much can succeed at the end. And it's a long-term processes. You cannot become a top strongman in a very short time of period. At least if you have a very, very good genetic, it will be shorter, but you need time. Few people come to the sport, think they will become champion in the same year, but it's more like a very long processes. I compare that to the very long marathon. It's not a sprint.
Right, right. And it sounds like based on what you're telling me is it's like a full-time job.
Yes, of course. For me, it was, I stopped working like around 2011, 12 when I started to do a lot of international contests. And if you want to be in the top 10, top 5 in the world, you must dedicate full time to the sports. A good example of that is Luke Stoltman. Luke Stoltman compete long time at world level and have a full time job. He working on the oil rig, and a few years ago, he just stopped to work and be dedicated 100% to the sport. And the level of Luke and the shape of Luke also changed a lot. It's just because it's very hard, to have a full time job, and it's not possible to eat enough and rest enough. It's why Luke Stoltman came another athlete completely when he stopped working full time. It's just one example. But for me, it was I was always busy, because I have some business here in Canada. But the training was always first in my priority. It was the most important. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can understand that because that is a lot of dedication to something that it seems like you're very, very passionate about, which is great.
Yes, of course. Training is a passion first. I think everybody start the sport for fun first, and it came almost a job later when you're growing in the sport. But take a lot of time. Training for prepare for a world competition and try to make the podium every time is not so easy. And the athletes improve a lot at that moment, and also the weights improving, and you have more athletes. Also, it's why the level is higher in the sport. We have a less difference between the first place and the last place than we have in the past, and is a more competitive era in strongman right now. It's not about one or two guys. It's about a group of athletes, who can win every contest. Then I think it's also more interesting for the fans to see something like this. I see everybody's following World's Strongest Man right now. We have many surprise, many good performance, but sometimes the favorites just lose their place. You have the newcomers very good level at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. What competitions have you had that were your favorite strongman competitions?
For me, it was always World's Strongest Man. I always like focus my training, and I focus also all my effort to be more prepared at this contest, because for me it's the most important. It was always the most important. It was also because maybe I have better result in World's Strongest Man than other contests, but I always try to peak for that one. In my mind, it was the most prestigious contest, and when you want to put you in some world ranking level, I think the base of that is World Strongest Man ranking. Then it's why I always prepare really good. Sometimes maybe I put few contests on the side. Maybe I go there also, but maybe less prepared, and keep my focus on World Strongest Man events. But I compete in 11 World Strongest Men until this year. It's the first time I missed World Strongest Men since 2014. I'm very disappointed, because now I'm injured, but I hope I will come back in next year.
Definitely. Hopefully that heals up real quick.
Yes, I hope.
Um, as far as in the World's Strongest Man's competition, is there an activity that you prefer more than another?
What you mean? Sorry.
As far as when you're doing the competition, are there like I guess they do like the oh, I don't know exactly what it's called, but like where you pull a vehicle and then you carry heavy objects and things like that. It's been a while since I've seen one, but you have the different contests throughout the competition.
Yeah. Are you?
Do you have one that was your favorite that you liked more than another?
Oh yes, of course. The events I like the most was always like powerlifting movement, like deadlift and squat. It's quite easy for me normally to have good results in that type of event. But what I'm well known in strongman is because I was a well-round guy. I have almost no weaknesses. And I try to perform in every events. It's maybe why I always finish like in top five. I don't miss the top five in competition since many years right now.
That's great. And I saw that you've won a lot of competitions. How many have you won now?
Oh shit! I have no idea. I have no idea how many I won, but I have many trophies at home. Maybe I need to count that. But the thing I know, I compete in more than 250 competition right now. Since I started in 2004 to compete,
Wow.
then that's a lot of contests. And I did my first international 2007. Then it's long time ago. I make many podium. I win many of them. But it's hard to say. Maybe few guys that take some statistic on strongman are better than me to talk about my own career.
So when you're training to do the world's strongest man competition, do you have certain days that you may do like upper body or arms or legs or back, or how do you work that
Yes,
training?
yes, of course. My training was a mix of different kind of training. I have few trainings based on powerlifting. You do the main movement when you start. It's switched to a high volume training, like some kind of bodybuilding training. Because you need to build mass. And also stress all the muscle in the body. And the other part of the training is practicing the strongman events. then it's a mix of all of that. But it's around 25 to 30 hours of trainings a week, normally. And the hardest part, is eat between that. Is eating a lot. I was before Arnold Classic this year on 8,000 diet calories. It was very hard for me to eat that amount of calories. 7 meals a day during months. And never stop. To keep my body mass, at the good level and keep my strength. It's very hard to handle that type of training if you don't eat enough. It's why the athletes talk about eating, but not a lot of people understand what it is. But you need to do, and you will understand. But it was the hardest part. And now I'm injured. I just came back to training slowly, and I just eat 3 meals a day right now. It is like the paradise for me right now. It is just fun to eat. It's very different.
Yeah, you got to fuel the furnace.
Yeah.
You got to fuel that fire.
Yeah, because when you're on overfeeding protocols, eat is just a purpose. It's not for fun, And, after, it's good to be disciplined, but after years of overfeeding, taking a break right now is very good for me, for my body, and also I think for my mental health.
Right. So what kind of stuff do you do when you're not competing?
In Strongman right now, we compete almost all year. Then I almost never stopped to train, during 20 years. I remember I stopped one week because I was on holiday with all the Strongman circuit for Canada, all the athletes, and we go for a Strongman demonstration in Cuba. Then in that week, I don't train during one week. I think it's the only time I stopped to train during one full week during 20 years of training. Then I almost never stopped to train and push. Okay, sometimes the training change, maybe we give a little rest to the body, but in the modern era, we have competition all the time. Then I almost never stop. It's just about training.
Right. So when you're competing, and I'm always curious to see the competitions when they have them on TV, but when you're competing in the competition, is there a certain mindset you have or something that you focus on when you're in the competition events?
Oh, yes, it's important to have a positive mindset first thing. First, I'm not stressed. I'm very relaxed athlete. I just switch on when it's just 5 seconds before the whistle. It's like I work now because after years of competition, the competition itself came your comfort zone, and I think it's very important. It's why I give this advice to the new athletes. They need to compete more often as possible. They need to compete a lot. It's okay to lift weights in gym and training, but it is not competition. You have to learn to compete, how to compete. It's very, very important. And it's like that you became a very good competitor. And I think more you compete, more you came relax, and the stress goes out of you. You can sleep very well before a competition, And for me, I was maybe one of the most relaxed guy in the tent, making joke and have fun, with the other athletes, because everybody is friendly in Strongman, is all friends. And I just switch on when is the time to go to compete. And that's it. Finally, it's just like sometimes 4 or 5 minutes of work for a day. It's not so bad.
So with some of the new athletes coming in, are there any that you see there or that you've talked to that you feel like are going to be champions at some point?
Yeah, but when I watch the new athletes, I have few guys now competing in World Strongest Man, from Canada, and they are quite new, and not a lot of experience. But I just say to the guys, you have to just stay relaxed and give 100% on each event. Strongman is very, very simple sport, but very individual. Then if you fail, it's your fault. Your 100% fault normally. Then the most important is just focus and get the job done. But when you're good, prepare. The most important is the physical preparation, I think. When you're good, prepare, you have very good esteem of you and are supposed to be good. And if you're not strong enough on one event, it just came to you the sign you have to train more that one and go back to home and train again and continue the processes. Is quite simple. Is not like example a team sport like ice hockey or stuff like that. They talk a lot about psychological stuff, but I think in strongman is not so much. You must to be smart and do the job when you compete, but it's just about preparation and training.
Right. Is there an athlete that is coming up through the ranks that you think is really good and that can be in that top five at some point?
You talk about Canadian athlete?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Maxime and Mitchell Hooper have the potential to make podium both this year. For many people, Maxim was a surprise this year, but for me it wasn't a surprise. I know he have the potential to do it. And this year, Mitchell Hooper is coming. It's also surprising, but I know him. And for me, it wasn't a surprise. He just won the group now, group number 2. He just need 1 point tomorrow at the grip event to go in final straight. It's just because the people don't know him, but I know he have the potential also to make the podium. And Gabriel Rayom is a young guy. He's just 25 years old. I trained this guy since 10 years. He started train at the gym at 15 years old with his son, his twin brother, Frederick. They are both together there in World's Strongest Man right now. And I talk many times a day with them. And he surprised a lot. And he's in very good position right now to make top 3 and have a stone off chance to go to the final. And it's more than I apologize about this guy because Gabriel just started international level and he really, really did a good performance. And I think Canada have very good chance this year to place 2 guys on podium, minimum, maybe 3 guys in final. And 3 guys in final for Canada will be very, very good, And it's never happened since 2003. Then when Hugo Girard, Jason Paulin, and Jeff Dolan make the final in Zambia.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully that he comes through and you guys can, be on the top 3. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it will be very good. I think all Canadian people are very proud of them right now. They make more than I was expect about them. But the contest is not finished, it's just qualification right now. But anything, what happened after that, still a very good performance for Canadian athletes since a long time, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, and you touched on being an international strongman competition. Where have you been other than Canada?
Oh, shit. How many countries? I don't know. I don't know, but I make over 100 international contests for sure. I don't know how many millions of kilometers I make in plane, but I travel all around the world. From Australia to Asia, China. South America. I go in all continents. Just Antarctica was not visit. By strongman contests. Then. Almost all the best competition I get with World's Strongest Man, and it was in many countries. Then it was a really good experience to travel around the world to compete.
Do you have a favorite country that you've been to?
I will say when we compete in Botswana in 2016 for World's Strongest Man was maybe the best travel I did because it's the right spot, for safari. Many elephants in Africa was in this area, very close to the Zambia Falls, Victoria Falls in Zambia. Sorry, the safari was just amazing there. For me, it was the best travel I never did, and I plan to go back there maybe in few years to see that just for fun, not for competition.
Yeah, that sounds like that would be a good place to go.
Yeah.
Um, so I know you're on Instagram, and do you have a place where people can watch some of your competitions that you've done? Maybe like YouTube or Facebook or
Oh yes, but for watching the contest, I think YouTube is the best spot. Many contests all like that. All the world's strongest man competition you can see on uh, on YouTube, and all the qualification is there. I think it's the best platform to watch strongman right now. Uh, some I'd say the Strongman Champions League also start to put some competition on YouTube because maybe now the level is not so high in Strongman Champions League. But if you go back in 2011 to 2017, 18, all the best athletes in the world competing in the Strongman Champions League also. It was a very good competition, and for me, I build my career in Strongman Champions League. Because I compete a lot in that organization, and the level was really good at that time. And we have also a lot of fun, and it was very good for me to improve in the strongman sport. Also, the Arnold Classic is possible to watch on YouTube. Then the people can to watch strongman a lot there.
have you competed in the Arnold Classic?
Yes, of course, many times. I compete, I think, 4 times in the Arnold Classic, and my best ranking was fourth, 2018. And this year I was maybe in good position for podium spot finally, but I get injured there. Then it was disappointing for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, when you competed in there, did you have a chance to meet Arnold himself?
Yes, many times.
That's
I
awesome.
I take dinner in Arnold Schwarzenegger house 2 times. Then it's more than meet Arnold. Then
That's
because when
great.
we compete in the Arnold Santa Monica, Arnold Schwarzenegger invite strongman athletes there. Then we are 10 guys to go for the dinner at Arnold House.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come talk with me, and I hope that
Yeah.
you're back to 100% real soon because I want to see you do a strongman competition.
Yes, I hope to, and thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to be part of the podcast. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.